Gilgit Baltistan and Chitral in northern Pakistan are home to 3 of the largest mountain ranges in the world. Despite its striking beauty, the region hosts a very inhospitable environment for the inhabitants. Particularly during winter, when the otherwise flowing streams hang as crystal chandeliers, water becomes the most precious commodity in the region. Even during the summer, the inhabitants find it difficult to access clean and safe water due to the harsh terrain.
I have been collecting water for the last 19 years and it has been extremely difficult. Spending 4 to 6 hours collecting water from the river every day has resulted in arthritis and backaches for many women in the community. This task can be fatal too. The riverbed is slippery and has caused deaths of several women while collecting water or washing clothes.
For the majority of the people in Gilgit Baltistan and Chitral, water is not easily accessible. It is mainly women who are responsible for water collection, which in most cases is from open channels. Aimed at providing sustainable water supply services, transformational sanitation infrastructure, and health and hygiene education, the Water and Sanitation Extension Program, WASEP, was initiated by Agha Planning and Building Service, Pakistan in 1997, a part of the larger Agha Development Network. The program follows an integrated approach that develops infrastructure for access to potable water, hygiene education, and sanitation facilities.
We try to actively engage with communities to enhance their quality of life. Now, the approach that we're taking for this is to create an enabling built environment for these communities. Now, for us, an enabling built environment is one in which communities have the space, they have the resources, and they have the capacity to engage in economic development. What makes this program so interesting and makes it so successful is the fact that we actively are able to support all 3 of these areas.
Over the past 2 decades, WASEP has benefited over 400,000 people in disadvantaged communities across Gilgit Baltistan and Chitral. The success owes to the Water and Sanitation Committee established by WASEP as a governing body, responsible for mobilizing communities to plan, implement, operate, and maintain each water project. These organized committees also overcome numerous conflicts that have hampered efforts to bring water to these villages. The community of Pakora was one such case, where people of 2 divergent sects with long-standing water disputes were engaged and made to collaborate to ensure adequate provision of water.
We were hesitant to collaborate at first. Eventually, 7 to 8 people from both sects sat together and decided that youth should accomplish this task, as they are the only ones who can make this project possible. After all, the future belongs to them.
Besides the provision of water, WASEP also empowers women who act as agents of change in the region.
When the WASEP team visited our village, the male members of our community showed no interest. That left me with no choice but to take the lead in mobilizing all the female members of the village. Unfortunately, I could not afford to contribute to the operation and maintenance fund, so I had to sell my goat. After seeing our conviction to the cause, the male members were inspired and joined us in completing the project within 4 months. It was extremely satisfying to see men and women of all ages come together to take part in the trenching and ensuring that the project is completed on its due date.
The community participation and ownership made it easier to take on the otherwise arduous job of constructing water, drainage and sanitation infrastructure in an extremely difficult terrain.
Our program area starts from 1200 meters up to 6000 meters. You can imagine the climatic differences, the weather differences. You can see it from yourself, the terrain that we are working with. It's not so easy. When we select technology, especially for water, the first and foremost, of course, is the efficiency of the technology. Second is the user-friendliness of the program. We are the first institution in Gilgit Baltistan who introduced a high-density polyethylene pipe compression fittings in the area.
WASEP has completed over 450 water supply schemes across Gilgit Baltistan and Chitral and supported the construction of 13,500 pour flush latrines to ensure hygienic sanitation practices. WASEP's Community Health Improvement Programme is actively engaged in creating awareness on issues such as family health, personal hygiene and environmental health. WASEP's health promoters have so far conducted over 10,000 health and hygiene sessions, household visits and group meetings. Under the School Health Improvement Programme, WASEP has reached out to school-going children through awareness sessions, art competitions and other interactive activities. The access to water here has freed the women and the children from the drudgery of fetching water and enabling them to engage in more productive activities.
Before I was married, I used to live in Sost village, where I was trained in sharma weaving. Having moved to Choparsan after my marriage, I never had any time to utilize my skill. But in the last 6 months, since we became beneficiaries of the WASEP scheme, I have enough time to visit the center where I train local women and spend my earnings to pay my children's school fee and meet other expenses.
Having gained nationwide recognition and international acclaim, these water supply and sanitation schemes are now being replicated in urban areas of the region.
WASEP as a model works very well. With adaptations, we can make this part of the government's approach to delivering water and sanitation, which is what we're doing currently. Taking that further, making it urban, making it something that communities in an urban context are able to benefit from is where we would like to take the program over the next few years.
WASEP has brought water home to these communities, binding them together and encouraging them to work collectively. Organized and empowered, they are learning to be their own saviors, the masters of their destiny.